right. I've got my nice cup of coffee and I am positioned a little more to the right because we have our little Christmas tree sitting here in this corner because it's that time of year. It's December. My gosh. Felt like just a few weeks ago it was October. And now all of a sudden it's November, but now it's December and I can't keep track of time. And on top of that, I feel like it's been a year or two since I've posted a video. It's good to be back with a nice cup of coffee in front of the camera and hanging out with you, talking about books, watching the sunrise above the trees. I want to share my thoughts on the importance of reading physically, reading a physical book. Everywhere I go and everywhere I look, it seems like everyone is glued to their screens, whether it's a phone or a laptop. Maybe they have their ears plugged with AirPods. And I rarely see physical books in people's hands. If I do see them reading, it's a Kindle, and even that's kind of rare. And since starting a BookTube channel, I've learned a lot of people prefer audiobooks to physical books. And I say all this because this is what I've observed and what I've seen in my day-to-day life. I want to share the reasons why I think we should all read physical books and the importance and the benefits. It's so easy to get glued and wired to our screens, to our phones and social media, to a TV show or a podcast. Our attention is pulled in so many directions, this way and that, constantly. So much is begging for our attention. It can get quite exhausting and tiring. And we don't even know it because it's go, go, go all the time. We always have to have a podcast on in the background or a YouTube video while we eat, a TV show to binge, a battle pass to grind out. And I know I've talked about this subject here and there on my channel. I bring it up again because guess what? I have been glued to my screen. I recently bought a Nintendo Switch 2. And this past month, I have been obsessed. All of my free time has been, more often than not, dedicated to playing the Switch. I started Lonesome Dove in October. And I am barely 177 pages in. It's December. I don't think we realize how much our brains are working when we are constantly looking and searching for that dopamine hit. Scrolling and scrolling, trying to find that next clip or video. Checking our likes and comments and messages. It's this constant onslaught. And I think it's rare that we ever just sit in silence with our own mind and our own thoughts. You know, my wife and I, we don't listen to a lot of music when we drive. She drives to work, or when I drive to work, or when we're in the car together. We don't have music blaring or the radio cranked up. We like to sit in silence, sit with our own thoughts. And if we're in the car together, we like to hang out and talk, make each other laugh. So let me finally get to my point and talk about why I think you should read physically. Why physical books have so many benefits. Everyone that reads has different preferences and tastes, and they all read at different speeds and paces. Some people prefer reading physically or reading on a Kindle, and a lot of people prefer audiobooks. But I really think it is truly different when you reach out and grab a physical book. This isn't a Kindle. This isn't a phone or a laptop or a TV. When you reach out and grab a book, that's a volitional choice. To grab the book and not your phone, or the switch in my case. And when you crack open the book and focus on the words, you are metabolizing the text and building a vocabulary. And you're even developing concentration when you follow these words in a sentence, and the next sentence, and the next sentence. I often read in coffee shops, and I'll leave my phone in my car so I can focus on the book in my hand. And you know, coffee shops are quite loud. They'll have music blaring in the speakers and people ordering coffee and food and tables filled with folks talking, having conversation. It can be distracting to even read at a coffee shop. However, when I read my book and focus on the words on the page, everything gets quiet. Even if I read just a single chapter or two, that is still time well spent. That is time away from my phone, from my screen, from video games. When I've attempted to listen to an audiobook, I find it very convenient and easy to just turn it on my drive to work, or have it on in the background while I do house chores. Sometimes and I've talked about this before on my thoughts toward audiobooks, where it's just noise to me. Constant noise. The narrator is just going boom, 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 boom. When an emotional beat happens, there's no moment to pause and look up from my page. No, it just keeps going. And to me, I can't really breathe and metabolize the story with an audiobook. But when I read a book physically, I'm able to pause and savor a sentence or a quote that a character just said. I can put my book away for just a second, just think about that, ponder it a little bit, and just appreciate what I just read. I do that a lot when I read physically. I'll just look up and be like, wow, how did you come up with that? Especially reading Name of the Wind or Last Unicorn. There's also just something endearing and sentimental holding a book, feeling the pages in your hands, and knowing I own this book. No one can take it from me. It's not on a digital server. It's not on a Kindle with a battery. All I need is light to read this. It also starts conversations, especially at a coffee shop. I'll never forget the time I was reading, I think, book 9 of Wheel of Time, and a gentleman came up to me and said, "Oh my gosh, you're getting close. It's really good. Keep at it." And then we proceeded to talk for an hour about our favorite books. You know, it's nice to strike up conversation around books. When I grab my book and walk away from my screen, that is intentional time away from noise, away from my screen, away from work. I feel like the world slows down just a little bit. It gets a little quieter. I'm able to get lost in the pages of the story and spend time with the characters and their journey. It's just me and my book. I encourage you to make time to read physically, to pick out a book off a shelf. Go to your local library or local bookstore and try to just make time for that book. Get away from all the noise. Just spend time with that book. And I think the holidays are a perfect time to get lost in a story. Thank you for hanging out with me and taking time out of your day to hear me ramble. because I rambled a lot. I hope it was helpful. I hope it was encouraging. Cheers.